So we have another developer update for August of 2022, and there's some pretty big changes. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I am still in Canada on vacation. I'm actually leaving today, but there is a developer update that I want to talk to you guys about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into it. dbd on Twitter today posted another batch of changes are on their way with the developer update picture, and they actually gave us all of the notes that are going to be coming into the game. They said earlier this month we launched our largest balance patch to date, making changes to 40 perks including the meta and various base game mechanics. Now that we had a chance to see how things play out, we have prepared our first follow-up round of changes to fine-tune the balance. So let's take a look at what they've done. Thanatophobia. Finally, this is being addressed. As much as I love Forever Legion and Forever Plague, if you can't hear the sarcasm, this is a change that I thought was a no-brainer. So let's see what they decided to do. They said to address this, Thanatophobia will be receiving a rework in the 6.1.2 update. Each injured, dying, or hooked survivor will now provide a 1.5, or 2% action speed penalty. If all 4 survivors are injured, on dying, or hooked, Thanatophobia grants an additional 12%. So if you do the math, that is 2% per injured survivor, which means 4 survivors will give 8%, and you will get an additional 12% if all 4 of them are injured, giving you 20% progression to survivor actions. They said that this change will make Thanatophobia nearly as potent as before if all survivors are injured, but will require more effort on the killer's part to get great value. You need to remember as well, I don't think they really included this, but it does say if 4 survivors are injured, then that 12% will be added. Which means if you manage to kill 1 survivor, you're only getting 6% out of this perk if all 3 people are injured of action speed penalty. So pretty much you can say goodbye to Forever Legion or Forever Plague, and it actually does make a lot of sense balance-wise, because if you're short a player, imagine having 20 to 30% still stacked on you while short a teammate. So having 3 people with only 6% means that Thanatophobia has a good upside when all 4 survivors are injured and alive. Once someone is gone, it is more fair. We've seen a lot of perks kind of get this work in, so I'm happy with this change. Mettle of Man is the next one on the list. Mettle of Man, as you guys know, or maybe you didn't know, was one of the heavily used meta perks when it just came out due to how broken it was. It eventually got changed and received some tweaks, and eventually it just fell off the face of the earth, but it's slowly making a comeback. So they said, with the endurance status effect updated, Mettle of Man continues to be an outlier. While it provides a similar effect to endurance, the perk currently does not deactivate when performing a conspicuous action. This is by design, which is reflected in the perk's description, not mentioning endurance. Since activating Mettle of Man is so difficult, it wouldn't be fair to lose your hard-earned protection so easily. We wanted to clear up inconsistency and give Mettle of Man a slight rework while we're at it. It says, taking 2 protection hits will now activate Mettle of Man, granting the endurance status effect. While the endurance effect is active, your aura will be revealed to the killer when they are further than 12, 14, or 16 meters away. Like other endurance effects, performing a conspicuous action will cause it to deactivate prematurely, and it will not protect you from entering the dying state if you have deep wounds. With this change, Mettle of Man will now work exactly like other endurance perks, forcing the survivor to make a choice between saving their Mettle of Man and working on generators. Since this will make it a little weaker, we have reduced the number of protection hits required to compensate. So that is actually pretty interesting. We now are seeing a buffed up Mettle of Man, but again, you need to make sure you're not doing any conspicuous actions or putting it on the same side as the endurance status effect. So it's quite nice in a way that you can still get those 2 protection hits quite easily and then get some of the killer's time. Obviously, you can combine that with Off the Record too. It doesn't stack because they're both endurance, but if you use it at the right times, it's actually pretty good. Let's carry on and talk about some of the other things. Pain Renaissance, Merciless Storm, and Dead Man Switch. They said Pain Renaissance was changed such that it no longer forces survivors to momentarily stop repairing the generator. This effectively prevented a perk from activating Dead Man Switch on its own. The killer would need to chase them off the generator manually. However, this change caused an unexpected combination to appear. Since this new version allowed the survivor to continue working on the generator, Merciless Storm will continue spawning an excessive amount of skill checks, nearly 40, after the generator regresses. I think Odds actually even made a video on this, which was quite tricky. They said to remedy this, we are restoring pain resistance generator eruption through the killer will not receive a notification. This will cause Merciless Storm to no longer combo with Pain Renaissance. That said, it would bring back the combo of Pain Renaissance and Dead Man Switch. Therefore, we're reducing the duration of Dead Man Switch to 30 seconds in order to make this perk combo less oppressive than it previously was. I blame Odds for this one. Obviously, more people have figured this out, but solid change. You know, they're not trying to make it where it's nearly impossible to do anything on one side or the other, and I think it's a good change. Next up, they talked about the clown. As you guys know, the clown has been on strike. He's been killed switch, and if you've been following Polyester or Ion socials, you may have noticed there was a clown protesting that Maurice the Horse was no longer on Father Campbell's, and he was on strike for this. But DVD said that it was currently affected by a bug that allows you to retain the haste after the afterpiece antidote permanently. To prevent this from being exploited, they kill switch the clown, preventing him from being played. In 6.1.2, this issue is now resolved. The clown will be available to play once again. I think this is a big cover-up, and it's just that the clown was on strike and DVD is covering their asses. Orange Glyphs are next. I didn't actually get to play with the Orange Glyphs because I was gone, but this is what I said. Tome 12, Discordance, includes all new Orange Glyph challenges. We've seen some reports of motion sickness causing by the swirling VFX after interacting with these glyphs. Alongside with the 6.1.2 update, we will be temporarily swapping these glyph challenges for different ones. We retool the visuals. If you've already completed this challenge, don't worry, the challenge will remain completed. The orange glyph is expected to return with improved effects in the following update. So that's always nice. Finally, they mentioned matchmaking incentives. They said matchmaking incentives reward you with additional blood points for playing whichever role is in the demand at the time. When the mid-chapter launched, these incentives were not working as intended, granting 100% bonus blood points to Survivor at all times, including when there was more survivors playing than killers. This had an adverse effect on matchmaking. While killer queue times were fairly quick, Survivor queue time skyrocketed. The system needed to be disabled after several hours. We have investigated the issue and found the cause, but unfortunately, it won't make the deadline for the 6.1.2 update. Matchmaking incentives will be re-enabled on the 6.2.0 public test build, then on their live version of the game if everything goes smoothly. The 6.1.2 update is currently planned to release this week. We'll continue monitoring feedback on the mid-chapter changes and adjusting as necessary in future updates. As always, please be sure to share your thoughts once you've had a chance to give them a try. Until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. So there we go. That is the developer update for August of 2022. Today's August 1st, and we got ourselves our first update. If you are wondering about the 6.2 PCB that will probably be featuring the new chapter, the new Resident Evil chapter, which will probably be Wesker. There's been a lot of leaks and a lot of information going around. I'm not covering it. I know that they might speak about some of these things on their Beyond Behavior stuff, so I'll let the hype play out. We'll take a look at all this stuff and then we will talk about it. But that is pretty much going to do it for me. I am going to have a vlog for you guys of me visiting Behavior with Polyester, like the whole thing. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll probably see that tomorrow. I'll edit it when I get home today, unless I'm super tired. And it'll be a lot of fun. Nonetheless, that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, I'm the king. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.